now the moment that you have all been waiting for. Our special guest today, the ref of refs, Bruce Owens. Yeah. How's it going, Bruce?
Good to be here. Good to be here. Happy
All right,
holidays, everybody.
Yes. Well, as you guys know, this is the F5 segment. This is the segment that will be, normally it's a one-on-one. But unfortunately for Bruce, this one here is going to be a 3-on-1. So let's see if he survives this. So this segment is going to be the ref versus the few crew of 24/7 Loop, Player 1, and Captain Bogey. Now, this is a F5 match, and you're probably asking yourself, what is an F5 match? Well, an F5 match is the Few Fast Five Fanatic Face-Off. That's right. We're going to go head to head. And we're gonna be asking some questions no one dares to ask the ref, and he will need to have an answer. So let's go to the tail of the tape. Presenting in our corner, 24/7 Lou, Player 1 and Captain Bogey, measuring in at a combined height of 17 feet 11 inches.
What?
Weighing in at a combined weight of 2019 is gonna be a great year for us. And we hail from NYC and Miami. Our finishing move is the F5 Gotcha. Strong move. And also, Captain, our phrase is, if you ain't here, you're nowhere. That's right. And today we will be facing Bruce, the ref of refs. His resume has been an announcer and a referee. Now, he has met and brushed shoulders with the who's who. And this is just probably 10% of the list of people that he has met. Kevin Sullivan, referee Earl Hebner, Gangrel, Samoa Joe, Wes Briscoe, Gerald Briscoe, Barry Windham, Tuco Scorpio, Billy Watts, MVP, Carlito, Earthquake, The Barbarian, Teddy Long, Superfly, Jimmy Snooker. Wow.
He's up there.
Rocky Johnson, Ricky Santana, Wade Barrett, Rey Mysterio, Sabu, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and etc., etc., etc. Amazing.
Harley Race. Don't forget Harley Race.
No.
Real champions.
Okay, so we're including him in this list here.
That's it. He made the list.
All right, so now let's talk about Bruce. Actually, he's very special to us here in not only the Few show, but the Few, the fanatics enjoying wrestling. He has been in episode 5 that aired May 14th of 2016. Second appearance was episode 11 on December 17, 2016. Third appearance was the Few show episode 19 on July 22nd, 2017. And today on episode 30, December 1st, 2018, making him the first guest ever to be on the Few show 4 times. Thank you so much, Bruce, for being with us and believing in us and sharing your time, with the Few crew and everything that we do. So thank you so much for
it's
being
always
here.
an honor to be here. It's a lot of fun, and we cover a lot of history, and that's important.
For sure. Now, we're going to start pumping out the questions. So I'm going to begin with the first question. So Bruce, for 2018, what has been going on in general? And, we'll get into more specifics with the other guys. But what have you been doing for 2018?
Well, I've been working for a lot of different companies. The indie wrestling has exploded in South Florida, and probably in South Florida there's more companies than there are up north in Tampa and the Orlando area. They're pretty well spaced out, but it's allowing a lot of talent to come from the West Coast, of LA over here and work, and a lot of guys now are traveling back and forth, East Coast to West Coast, so they're trading talent back and forth, and it's bringing a lot of great matches to the local community. And usually, you'd have to go a long way to see it, but there's a lot of wrestling companies doing it, and that's good for business. Very competitive. A lot of promoters chopping at each other, but only the few survive.
That's right, and definitely the big benefactors of this are the fans, that we get to see all this different talent that comes from other places. All right, gentlemen.
Well, Bruce, I want to thank you so much for being here. My question to you is, what would you say is a promotion here in South Florida that you've seen now that is up and coming, that you like?
Well, we've had some that are established. One of the things I would say is Fighting Evolution Wrestling.
Yes.
They've taken off. They've went international to several countries. They recently came back from Israel and Turkey.
That was big.
One of their wrestlers just at the show last week, he's still in the process of training, but he had a part of a match where he was in a match, picked up one of the wrestlers and slammed him. I didn't see the whole thing. He may have pressed him and dropped him, but he's got more of the tribal look, kind of like a modern day Kamala. And believe it or not, he hadn't wrestled yet. He's got the look, looks like $1 million, and WWE spotted it. Less than 12 hours later, he had a call to go to the Performance Center up in Orlando. I mean, in my 47 years of wrestling, I have never seen anybody that has not wrestled just get picked up and go to Performance Center. It's not a guaranteed job,
Sure.
but this guy's a good worker, strong cardio, everything. I think he's got a really good opportunity. So, you know, if you see that tribal type character come out, just remember he started down here with Fighting Evolution Wrestling. And,
Nice.
you know, it's a tremendous break for the company, but it goes to show you that where I'm going with this is people see some of the indie guys and they make fun because they're not in the big companies, whether it's TNA, All Japan, New Japan, NWA, All In, and WWF. But it goes to show you that WWE is watching all these local companies and looking for talent. People like Duke the Dumpster Drosy, Gangrel, all these guys are guys that started off here local, you know, so it's good for the talent. Remember, work hard because you never know when the eyeball is on you. And at the same time, I always tell people, keep those Facebook pages sterile because you put stuff out there, you can't take it back, and sometimes it can cost them a chance at WWE because they look and, you know, here the person's flipping birds or doing something
That's true.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever you do out there, it's permanent, it's forever.
Oh, yeah.
You can delete it, but delete just goes into another file.
That's
you know,
it.
so you're going to see a lot of talent being picked up, especially as WWE has started to run more matches in different countries and everything. It's like anything in the old days, we had an A, B, and a C team, and we ran like 3 towns a night sometimes.
Wow.
And you have to have a tremendous roster to cover that many shows a night. So things are good. Things are exciting in Indy land.
Nice.
And I think also, like with my co-host Captain Bogey, he has a bit of a tribal look sometimes with his mohawk. Maybe he can get picked up.
I think we take him down to Mickasuki and tell him that he wants to be an Indian and see what the Indians do.
I think he'll
You
be
know?
great.
Yeah,
Alligator
scouts
wrestling.
Yeah.
right away. All right,
That's a good
24/7 Lou.
Right. Well, my question is, Bruce, 2019. It's December now. How have you seen this year go for independent wrestling here in South Florida?
Well, I've seen it get very competitive where a lot of people were trying to outdo each other. And when I say outdo each other, promoters were trying to run against each other. And here's what happens. You know, it's people can put their calendars out. Everybody run a separate week because when you have 2 shows and the same night, then what you're going to do is split the crowd.
Yeah.
And both promotions are going to suffer. Usually, it's just not a good recipe for success. But I think we're going to see a lot of the same in the last 2 years down here. And you guys have covered a lot of the wrestling. Things have gotten a lot more exciting. And I mean, we've got talent now. It used to be you saw the local talent, and maybe they came from Palm Beach to Miami, and that's what you were seeing.
Yeah.
But you know, on Fighting Evolution Wrestling, they had a bunch of people from up in New York, Carolinas, Virginia. There's a lot of people willing to trade talent back and forth. Pablo Marquez with Coastal Championship Wrestling, a company that's been the longest indie company down here. I worked for him for day one when Bruno Sassi, Big Tilly, and Luther and a few of the guys had the company. They've got Sabu coming up. They've got, you know, super crazy, a whole bunch of guys coming up. And I mean, it used to be you went to an indie show and I'll be honest, you felt like you were with indie because everybody was local. Now you go to the shows, Blueprints and other. Jamil's running a hell of a show. All of a sudden you see these companies coming up and stars are coming that you see on the West Coast, you see in New York, you see on TV, you see the TNA Impact guys. You know, they've got contract releases where they can work in other companies. Now they have to turn over a little bit of their salary to when they take those bookings for a royalty back to the company that's got them under contract. But you know, you're going to where we used to go to the Polish show or something like that, the Polish American Club, and now you know you go in and you're seeing all different stars that you see on TV that are now on your indie shows. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that, and it's going to give everybody a lot more exposure.
Awesome. What would you say has been your highlight of 2018 from the different wrestling promotions you've been to? Any conferences or cons, anything like that? What do you think has been your highlight for 2018?
Well, you know, a couple years ago I started working the SuperCon shows, and now we've got the FSCW, and they're taking it around the country. You know, I was in Raleigh-Durham a couple months ago. This week I go to Louisville, Kentucky, and you know, there's some other shows around the country next year. And it returns back to the Miami Beach Convention Center the 4th of July weekend. And that's also taken out with the people that like the anime, the gaming, and all those things. So they have wrestling, they have the combination of the gaming, and it's turned into something really big. When Mr. Broder ran it in, I think it was about 2 years ago, the Miami Beach Convention Center, it drew like 48,000 people in 4 days.
Wow,
you know,
that's huge.
That's tremendous. I mean, you know, when you pack a building so big that you have to wait for people to exit to now go in, you know, because things are capacity. It's fantastic for the animated SuperCon business, but it's even more great for the wrestlers. You know, it's a lot of exposure.
Awesome. Okay. And talking about gaming, a gamer here.
Yeah, definitely. My question to you now, Bruce, is: do you think that there will ever be a women's only indie wrestling here in Florida besides Shine?
I would like to see it because, you know, if you had it, then it makes Shine work even harder. Shine's got the niche market right now because they've got the talent, they bring them in from all over and international. So, and the shows are tremendous, okay? But it's kind of like WWE. They're big, it's great, but that's all we got is WWE. So Shine is a tremendous group, tremendous workers, and the girls work around in different companies. But I'll give you an example, Queen of Combats, for example. You know, that's a group that runs some great wrestling, and they've been up in the Carolinas and stuff. But sometimes what I see from over my years in the business is a lot of times people will invest in indie wrestling, but when you say, I'm going to run an all-girl show, then they kind of shy away because, you know, you're either going to make money or you're going to lose a lot. Because the old days, you know, the girls worked a little cheaper. Now, you know, once they've been around the country, and a lot of them in different countries in the world, they demand a lot more than they used to get. And rightfully so. I mean, you know, before where they used to be, they were an attraction on the card, or like if we put midgets out there. And question for you, do midgets only play miniature golf? Have you ever seen one on the big court? No, not on the big courts, right?
No.
All right, never trust a midget, okay? But
It's a little person.
yeah, it's trying to be right, but it's okay, you know. Still little, you know, Chiquito person. But I would like to see another company come in and do that, because then you'd see the best. It would kind of remind me of the old WCW and the WWF days, battling each other. But there's some fantastic workers with the women now that do some fantastic work, and I think you just, you know, maybe another couple of years, maybe someone will invest and do that, you know.
Well, I mean, there's been a great revolution, you know, with WWE, and you know, usually that is the marquee of wrestling. So they have definitely pushed and put in the spotlight women's wrestling, and you know, not calling it the divas anymore, but you know, in competitive standards, two men as men's wrestling with women's wrestling. So
everybody's a superstar, WWE superstar. And you know, that's a good point, because if WWE did it, and they did do it, and it was successful, you know, maybe someone will make that move and try another company because it did bring in a lot of revenue for them.
Oh, for sure. All right.
Well, speaking of women's wrestling, I was thinking if Bogey was a wrestler, what would
A female wrestler?
yeah
I like that.
That's
Let's go there, okay? Because I got one popping in my head real quick.
I'll go with a female wrestler.
Boga?
What would be his entrance music and what would be his finishing?
Oh, boy.
Well, you know, just
I
looking at the attributes that he has with us so far, and I asked him before I got here, I don't know if you guys know, I asked him how he swallowed the turkey whole. He wouldn't tell me, but
I cut it in pieces.
I would say he's probably going to do a Vader bomb,
Okay.
you know, and I think we would put him as a distant relative of the great Moolah. He's got that look. He's got that look, doesn't he? He's as handsome as Moolah was beautiful.
I agree.
Yes, I agree. Definitely agree.
All right. Well, thank you very much for putting me in the spot, gentlemen.
It was fun. Thank you.
Every interview, Bogey, you know I'm going to ask a question about you and wrestling.
Of course. All right. So at this point, any last words that you would like to share? Any expectations? Any things that you're looking forward to for 2019? Since we're so close to that end of year, and 2019, we always hope it's going to be better, more improved. Learn from our previous, so we don't repeat any negative things, and try to enhance our experiences. So 2019, what are you looking forward to? What do you think that you're gonna want to achieve or see or do?
I just want to keep going, make it another year. My goal in wrestling is to make it at least 50 years, and so that for me, I want to make 50 years, and the mind's there, but I have to make sure the body's willing to follow me, But I think that if that's Vince, tell him we'll call him back. No, it was Hunter. So I think that I would like to see something where possibly a couple of promotions work together and kind of do like a super card. Kind of like the old days. It was the NWA did it, and some of the UWF and AWA guys. But for the fans' sake, I think it would be neat if all the promoters could get together, work it out.
Sure.
You take care of your guys, I'll take care of mine, you take care of your guys. So it's not a money issue.
Yeah.
Talent's taken care of by the respective promoters. The fact that it's a super card and anybody's on it would mean that they're special. So if someone's going to go under to somebody and someone's going to go over, guy going under has to shine so good that it looked like he slipped on a banana peel, and that everybody on the card looked like a winner, whether their hand was up or they were pinned. But I think it'd be really neat. There's so much talent here that we touched on earlier that a super card.
Wow.
And
that would be huge.
I think it would be good. I mean, it hasn't been done. And we talked about the women's wrestling. It had never been done. Vince took the chance and ran the big show, and it paid off and paid dividends. But I think for the fans, and then once you do that for the fans, I think maybe the promoters would be a little bit more at ease, because at the end of the day, maybe that there's people going to these two shows, but they're not going to these two shows. But you went to a super card and you saw everybody. Chances are now that fan's going to go to everybody's show. Or maybe 3 out of 4. But I think to put together a super card would be really good. Talent mixed from all different groups.
I think it would be a great.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
That's it. If it happens, this is where it started. Think about it.
So let me ask you about that. If something like that is put out, I'm thinking, how would, if somebody goes over, the promotion goes over, how does the other promotion benefit from that? If their top guy loses, or in a match.
I'll give an example. Harley Race and Stan Hansen against the Road Warriors, and if you're too young to know, then it doesn't matter. I'll find somebody in your era. But all 4 are legends and top performers, and this is in the 70s and 80s. guys ran the match, and you know, not that everyone's going to be like this, but it went outside, it brawled, it went to a double DQ, and you know, nobody looked bad. But I mean, if I was booking it, I'd say we've got 8 matches and there's 4 promoters and 2 matches. Let one of their guys go over in one, let the other guy go under in another. So everybody just got an equal day. One of your guys goes over, one goes under. And it's the same for all 4 promoters and all 4 groups. So everybody's being treated equally from a promotional standpoint, you know.
And why do you think some promotions are against a supercard? Because I have heard about this before.
Well, I think people have spoken about the promoters getting together and running a card.
Right.
But my concept's a little different about a supercard, where the best of your promotion.
Okay.
You know, because we're not talking about a joint promotion, because then you get some wrestlers saying, I don't want to work with this guy, or I don't want to do the job, or this and that. He has to keep his promoter happy, the promoter's got to keep this guy happy. But I think if you sat there, and it's going to be a supercard, guys, and maybe it's one of them things that's a once-a-year deal, takes off.
Good.
But you bring 2 matches, you bring 2, I bring 2, and he brings 2. We got 8 matches, one of our guys goes under, one goes over. And, you know, there's ways to do a match and nobody looks bad.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you've seen matches with, you know, Eddie Guerrero and the end of his matches and stuff where, you know, he could lose and look like $1 million. You know, but the thing is, if one went over, one went under for everybody would be treated the same. And the fact that you were on the supercard,
Yeah.
you know, you're there. You know,
Exactly.
I'd rather be on a supercard and go under than work a small show and worry about going over.
And you know,
Get me on the supercard.
you know also wins, us fans.
Yeah.
The fans who
Exactly.
enjoy local wrestling, who sometimes go to one show, don't go to another, or sometimes go to all the shows. Now you get to watch all of your favorites
Yeah.
in one place. So yeah, I think as fans, we fans would win.
And from the wrestler standpoint, you know, a lot of times then it becomes, well, what about the money issue? But you think about it, if you ran a supercard and everyone's got their merchandise and their pictures, and you know, this is a chance for the fans to see the best of 4 groups on a particular night, and the wrestlers to showcase, I mean, the best of the best.
Exactly.
You know, there's no shame on being in a main event and losing. You know,
Yeah.
it's more shameful to be in the opener and lose than it is on the main event. I mean, main event, you know, whether you won or went under, it's fantastic. You were there.
Now, Bruce, I want to ask you a question. You said you had drawn to Raleigh with the other promotion, and now going to Louisville. Now, how do you see the fans out there? The fan base for wrestling, or how is there as passionate? How is it compared to here in South Florida?
I'm going to sound bad about it, but I'll give you an example. You know, I was in Philadelphia not too long ago and worked, and you know, you just go in the building at daytime, you don't even do anything, and they're you suck, this, that. You know, I'm like, you know, like it's 2 in the afternoon. Nothing's even happened, so they're kind of crazy. Raleigh,
passionate.
there's a lot of Southern hospitality in the South. People are very nice. The fans are a little more respectful, and I think it works both ways because the wrestlers realize that they're in a nice environment. They don't get carried away, and you know, you can have a good show, and there can always be one person that messes it up, but. In the Carolinas and some of these places, the shows don't happen as often. I mean, we have wrestling here almost every week.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes 2 times a week and stuff. So they're very passionate and happy to see the people come in. And you know, here I think sometimes the fans kind of take things for granted. I mean, I'm like a Dolphin fan, and the minute they lose, I'm against them. But if Marshall's has their shirt on sale, I'll buy one. You know. But, you know, Miami's not a forgiving sports town, you know, they'll dump on the heat and turn on them and stuff. I mean, it's just the way Miami is, but when you get to different parts of the country, it's a lot different working in front of them, you know. And they really enjoy it, and the guys make a lot of money in merchandise, and they like that interface because maybe they won't get a show for another 2 months.
Oh,
you know, or 3 months. So, you know, a lot of smaller towns, there's wrestling only a couple times a year.
Wow.
You know, I mean, we're spoiled down here. I mean, you know.
Now you mention, now you mention it, wow, you just think that some places they don't, you said twice a year, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
We are kind of spoiled down here.
Yeah, we do have choices. That's for
It's
sure.
good.
All right, well, it's come towards the end of this segment here with Bruce. And again, this is the end of year for 2018. And again, thank you very
The
much
end?
for joining us.
Already?
Yes, it is. Now, let me mention this, and I'm going to give an opportunity to for Bruce to end it. Bruce is one of the few, well,
Few.
probably
That's a plug for you.
Yeah, right.
yeah. Probably the only referee out there that is noticed and loved by so many fans and gets chants everywhere he goes. So take this last few moments here to say a little hello to the fanatics out there that enjoy seeing your presence, because we truly do. When you come in, you add another layer to that match that's about to start.
Well, hey, it's always just an honor. I mean, every time I get to work in the ring, it's an honor. You know, when I started out, all I ever wanted to do was really be able to get in free. You know, when I was a photographer, and you know, one thing led to another. You know, I became an announcer and ring announcer, and you know, became a referee. I mean, beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, if you told me it'd been, you know, like 1969 when I was at school doing pictures for the guys, making 8x10s, and they were selling my 8x10s, that, you know, I'd be in 2018 and be refereeing. You know, it's just an unbelievable dream. But you know, the fans are important, because we you know, you hear it time and it's like a cliche that without the fans we'd be nothing. It's true. It's kind of like having a box office movie, but nobody to go to it. You know, then what's the movie really worth? You know, so for us having the opportunity of the people to be there, and you know, I've been fortunate to do it for so long that, you know, sometimes I've seen, you know, the father, then the children, and then their children, you know, a couple decades. So time goes by, and you know, some of the people really stay wrestling fans for a long time. You know, so that makes me happy when I see people that, you know, second or third generation.
Awesome. All right, well, guys, there you had it again. Bruce Owens, the ref of refs, here on our last episode of the Fuse Show for 2018. So again, Ref, thank you so much for being here and everything that you do.
Always an honor to be here.
And guys, this is the end of the segment for the Fuse Show.
Hey, wait,
Enough. Oh, what?
We're supposed to rip our shirts off for the last.
Enough said.
You want to see it?
It's your last chance.
Go online. Leave a comment. Share.
Ripping off shirts.
You want to see Bowie rip his shirt off?
No, is these shirts broken? Enough said.
I don't know. I don't have one. How much are they?
They're pretty penny.
No, sir.